This is Lagoon Radio.
It's a beautiful, beautiful Monday morning, 6th day of the 6th month in 2022. It's just 26 minutes before 10 a.m. West African time, and you're welcome to the newspaper review on Lagoon Radio. We're broadcasting live from the Archbishop's Palace in Marina. My name is Jennifer Jibril, and I'm not doing this alone. I have with me in the studio, somebody like that.
Good morning, Jennifer.
Good morning, Taiwo. How you doing?
I'm all right, and you?
I'm fine. Hope you had a great weekend.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, right. Leave the bots. Just leave the bots. I know you were about saying bots, but no. Let's just leave the bots. So today we have, as always, we have so many newspapers. We have This Nigeria. We have Daily Independent, This Day newspaper, Daily Asset, Business Day, National Economy, Daily Trust, Nigerian Tribune, The Guardian, Leadership, New Telegraph, and Blueprint newspaper. And we'll try as much as possible to, go through all of this. Time permits, but we have some major stories on today's papers. Sad ones. I mean, it's basically a major headline, and it's not so pleasing. So I'll be taking this Nigerian newspaper. Dangote, GT Bank, and others dominate Nigerian brands, and you can read that on page 27 of this Nigerian newspaper. And we have on page 6, ABC presidential primary, the end game, and the writer to that says Osibanjo, Tinubu fire me, others in last minute maneuver. Basically, that's what we've been seeing making the headlines during the weekend. Several meetings, dinners, and we don't know what they are up to. We don't know what they're up about, but we know that all their meetings and all the dinners and whatever has been going on is with regards to the presidential primaries set to happen in Abuja in about a week. So, I mean, basically, and we have the very, very sad headline, Sunday tragedy, mother in cathedral, and that's on page 2. How gunmen from hell massacred, injured over 100 worshippers in Ondo Church. Akeredolu weeps as outraged Nigerians urge federal government to track killers. NMA calls for blood donation. So, yes, it was all over the news, all over the internet yesterday that anybody that can make it to FMC or as of yesterday, they needed blood donors.
Yes.
There's so many people injured after the massacre in the St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church in Owo yesterday, in the early hours of the day. And it was, in fact, it's tragic because even children were not spared. And
Okay.
I mean, basically, it is well with Nigeria because
It's really, really disheartening, really. It's a painful thing. It was bloody, and it was hell for most families that were affected.
I mean, people can't. I don't know how someone wake up in the morning and tell themselves, oh, we are going to church, right? And with the joy in their hearts, think they will come back. It was Pentecost Sunday.
And according to the news I read this morning, to think these people are actually worshippers, they disguised as worshippers.
Yeah.
And then there was this explosion before they started shooting sporadically at the congregation. But it's really, really sad. I feel something could be done about it. I mean, come to think of it, this is the southwest.
Yeah. They've gradually
It
come
is
to
not
the southwest.
your zone in any way. But because you've settled in and then you feel it's your right to be there, or you feel offended by what the governor might have said or what he might have done, it still doesn't give you any
the edge.
Reason to do something of such, because indirectly you're hurting the governor, yes, of Ondo State.
But then
because
these are
you can't
innocent
get to him
people.
and then you have to go through people that don't even know what's up, people that are trying to make they are still trying to make a living, and then this happened. It's really unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. So we're hoping that something is done, because this has become, I don't know, killing in Nigeria has become a norm to some extent, but we just hope that something is actually done about this. So we have the last headline: primary Seraph 185 Nigerians sue INEC over failure to extend voter registration. What do you have to say about this, really? I don't think there's any way we'll talk about major headlines on newspaper and not talk about the 2023 election. So what I mean, Seraph and 185 Nigerians sue INEC.
I feel you are giving enough time.
Okay.
And then I think there are steps to things.
Of course.
And before I think before these people collate and all of that, basically they've given you the deadline. I think you should just go by it, because there are other things they need to do. There are other things they need to put in place before they come out with whatever result, whatever outcome of their registration. So now, because I failed to extend the voters' registration, I mean, you had the old time.
I mean, they've been given a lot of time. They've been given a lot of time concerning this, and I just think this is negligence on their part for them not wanting to do it. It's not an excuse, basically. That's what I see this to be. It's not an excuse, but then that's what it is. I think this is all we can take on this Nigerian newspaper. Over to you, Taiwo.
All right, I'll be taking the Daily Independent. At the very top of the paper, we can see how APC presidential candidates will emerge ahead of the presidential primary of the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC. Political errors, trading and last-minute negotiations are currently going on among stakeholders in the southern part of the country, where the presidential ticket has been technically zoned to.
And then now talking about this, right? This zoning and all of that. I think there are speculations regards yesterday's massacre in Ondo State. Apparently, speculations. It goes back to the whole zoning thing. Now, APC governors have agreed that zoning should not go to the north, should come to the southwest,
and I support that.
And
today. South, yes. Southwest.
And now, killings already.
Now, I think this is time for people to open their eyes, shine your eye, and do what
Get your
right.
PVC.
We don't know the best person for it, but whoever you think or your instinct tells you.
Don't say your vote does not count.
Don't sit at home.
Don't sit at home. Get your PVC. Vote.
But the story is there on the front page, and you can continue reading on the inside on page 6 of the Daily Independent. Heart tales on the Catholic Church bloodbath. The writers to that says, Afenifere says world should hold federal government responsible. How true is that? That's on the inside. Criminals operating with impunity. Khan laments, CAN. That Governor Akeredolu vows to hunt down assailants. Nigeria fast becoming a failed state, says Peter Obi. All of this is on the inside of the paper, and you can continue reading on page 29. It's really, all of these are really strong condemnation, really.
Yeah, I agree.
Killing alone, it's we're gonna have to keep talking about this killing today. We cannot but keep talking about it. We'll try as much as possible, but it's not going to be easy. We can't shy away from it. Northern Elder Slam regions, 11 governors over zoning of APC presidential ticket. That's on page 7. 2023 presidency, Southern Middle Belt leaders commend Buhari and APC governors on top waiting. Find out on page 7 of the Daily Independent. No peace-loving Nigeria will want a northerner succeed Buhari. Ikena.
That's on page 9.
Straight up.
Straight up.
No peace-loving Nigeria. Like if you're a peace lover, let me just break it down. If you love peace, then you would not
want a
want
northerner.
another northerner to succeed Buhari. I'm not being biased here, but of
That-
course
that's
we're
the
all
one.
seeing what is happening, and it's not benefiting us. It doesn't pay any of us.
It's basically tearing the
causing
country
more,
apart.
Yeah, it's causing more harm than good. So we need to open our eyes. Whether it goes to the east or it goes to the south, all I know
Shine
is
your eye.
shine your eyes. But it has to leave the north. Thank you. That's my own opinion. I don't know.
Taiwo, I said that. Oh no.
It's my own
You
opinion.
self talk your own.
It's my opinion. And inflation, volatile facts to signpost economy ahead 2023 polls. Our political parties are expected to close the process of electing their candidate for the 2023 election this week. Developments seen in the last 2 months where the Naira have been on a free fall has shown that matters of the economy will take the back stage as Nigeria approaches the general elections, according to analysts.
You.
So you can continue reading on the inside. I think on page 7 it's quite tiny, and at the very bottom of the Daily Independent we can see Buhari APC National Caucus members in last minute meeting before convention. That's on page 6 of the Daily Independent, and I think that'll be all on the front page.
Okay, so very quickly, would try to hasten up so we can take more papers. At the top of this day newspaper, we have Fashola construction of $15.6 billion Abidjan Lagos highway to benefit 40 million West Africans. Now, something away from the whole massacre. And the writer to that says, AFDP provides additional 3.5 million euros for feasibility studies, Nigerian-Cameroon link bridge for inauguration this month. And you can continue reading on page 5. And on page 10, we have power sector collapse imminent, stakeholders warn. I mean, this power sector has collapsed. The grid basically has collapsed more than the number of times I can count this year alone. And now they're warning because there's going to be another one, likelihood to be... more just they use candle now. Let's go back to globe lamp.
Abi now.
More just know say we don't go back to
People are blaming
to
you.
Stone
People are
Age.
blaming you. You are blaming others.
I don't know.
I actually read it in the news this morning.
Small time
I'm
they say
trying
rain
to
did not
get-
fall. Now rain are fall. So where exactly are we going to? Like what exactly are we doing? But if you want to read more on the power sector thing, go to page 10 of this day newspaper. Finally, Nigeria Air to get operating license today, and that's on page 11. If you want to find out the Nigeria Air, if you want to find out the license you're getting, check page 11 of this day. And we have back to the killings. Our killings, outraged Buhari mobilizes all state resources to neutralize attackers and causes them. And the writer to that says, maintains Nigeria will never give in to evil, wicked people. Akeredolu, we will hunt down assailants. Your empty threats are no longer working. Can blast president. That is straight up. Your empty threats are no longer working.
Yeah, you need
Can blast president.
You really need to take actions.
Yes, we don't
See,
want all talk.
of
We
this
want
thing
action.
It's more than just talking and talking. If you keep talking,
Yeah.
you're gonna keep having more killings, more.
Of course,
bloodshed,
it becomes
more
a case of
bloodbath.
syphilis.
Yes, because they will, eventually they will tell you.
Nah, talk,
You're
we
just
go
gonna
talk,
talk, and
I mean.
that'll be it.
So we also have the last rider to this particular headline. Please donate blood to save lives. NMA urges Nigerians. And you can continue reading on page 6. We have the major headline. How our church killings put 2023 Northern presidency up in the air. And the rider to that says, ruling parties governors intensify moves for reconciliation and Southern presidency. Okay, and we have APC aspirants and last-minute push for alliances and mobilization, and we have a picture of Governor Rotimi Akeredolu in tears, basically after visiting the site of
35 people died, I think.
they are still counting actually, because that's not the figures have been changing.
According to the news this morning, so far.
Yeah, so I mean. It's enough for someone to cry, to think that it's actually his hometown.
Yes,
from
like I
sources.
said, because
It's his
they
hometown.
because they couldn't get to him. And
Of
then
course.
they had to go to
So his
the
hometown,
helpless.
where it would actually get to him. This is really sad. We have on page 10, Buhari APC set for third straight victory since 2015. Like you shot for Ramsha. APC set for straight. It's just like when you're playing ball, saying a straight win. Or the way they be lifting trophies. So basically, he said APC set for third straight victory since 2015.
All I know is when I goes to APC, PDP,
We want a good leader.
Labour Congress, Labour Party,
or ADPC.
whoever God has appointed for us, let him win, and then let him rule us well and nice, because we are living in this na hello. There's no other word for it.
There was
Let's
actually a
just leave it
paper
at
that there was an headline that described the killers in Owo as messengers from hell.
Yes, I saw
Basically.
that.
I mean, that's all we'll take on this day newspaper.
Moving on to daily assets, at the very top, we see Taj Bank set to launch made in private sector 100 billion naira sukuk offering. That story is on the front page, and you can continue reading on page 2. Of course, we have the killing. We're not going to take that again. 2013, INEC takes away sensitive election materials from CBN. You want to find out more on page 22 of the daily assets. Buhari didn't discuss zoning with APC presidential aspirant, says Adam, and that's on page 23. And moving back to page 4, NDLEA intercepts drug consignments, arrest 9 traffickers at Lagos, Abuja airport. That's on page 4. And on page 5, Japan to establish automotive plant in Nigeria. Still on page 4, we see at the very bottom, Benue PDP chairman emerges governorship running mate. Okay.
You said we choke you.
Well,
it is what it is.
It's the time of the year, so much is expected though. So we shouldn't be surprised at anything that comes out. Tomorrow it might be another story.
Yeah, right.
Please arrest suspected fabricator of vehicles master keys for criminals in Kano State. That's on page 15.
Another matter that needs to be addressed.
People
are doing things.
I said it. Yeah, that a brain box of one of my neighbors was stolen around 2 p.m.
They're gonna lose your engine.
In the afternoon, around 2 p.m. It's so crazy. I mean, you see, last week we saw in the news, these car vengers, they've burnt down their camp in FCT Abuja. I think they are the next set of people that we need to eradicate. When I mean eradicate, you eradicate them.
Like disease.
Eradicate them. They steal a lot. When you see them carrying their sack,
right? Yes.
And
Yes.
you see, the moment you see them bent like this, means they've stolen something that is heavy.
Yes.
I don't even want to trust anybody really, but things are happening in the afternoon around 2 p.m.
Crazy
And
things
then
are happening.
You stole the person's brain box.
Just
like that.
Daylight.
And then people passing by will probably think it's a mechanic. You know, they're always looking all dirty and that. That's on page 15. And still on the front page, which happens to be the last one, OPEC Plus bows to pressure to pump more oil, raises output by 216,000
BP day.
So the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies, known as OPEC, have agreed to ramp up global oil supply, leading to Western pressures to pump more oil. The decision was made at the 29th OPEC and non-OPEC ministerial meeting held on Thursday last week. So you can continue on page 2. That's all on the front page of the daily asset.
Okay, so we are moving on to Nigeria, the national economy. The top of the papers, we have foreign investors pump. Don't they call money this Monday morning? Money enter my account. Foreign investors pump $615.7 million. I don't call naira anymore in money markets within 3 months. Basically, what foreign investors are pumping into the money market. $615.7 million in 3 months. And there's a story on the front page, and you can continue reading on page 5. And we have the major headline on national economy: bank customers lament as fintech-related fraud persists. And the writer to that says, urge regulators to curb menace. Banks lost 2 billion naira to fraud in 1 year. That's basically on fintech-related frauds. And you can continue reading that story on page 4 of National Economy. And we have on the front page of the paper some really amazing people. If you want to find how amazing they are, grab a copy of the National Economy. And beneath the paper on page 5, we have workplaces will lose more skilled workers in next 1 year, says PwC. So workplaces will lose more skilled workers in the next 1 year. If you want to know why would they just lose skilled workers in 1 year? Grab a copy.
Treat your employees well.
Well,
You know this person is good at what he does, but yet
treat
not
them
doing the
well.
right thing. If I understand the story well, the headline, wow, enough.
Yes, of course. Apart from
as
treating
not
them well,
to
you don't
lose
give
them, because eventually some of them are going to end up standing on their own.
Yes,
then
and
they'll
sometimes
be so
it's not even
expensive,
about
you
the
can't even
pay.
reach out to them.
It's not even about the pay. They're not given the opportunity to explore their talents as much as they want to.
Because it's my business.
So,
this is not,
John,
this is
exactly.
not the talent on that,
So
but
then
give them
people
the chance.
eventually leave.
And then they start their own employment. Employment don't do that, because they eventually employ people themselves and you pay them.
Of course. Still on page 5, we have use BDCs to end multiple exchange rates. ABCON, that's APCON tells CBN. That's on page 5. And the last headline on the national economy, NASCON records 2.97 billion naira net profit. That's all on national economy. So very quickly, a time before we wrap up.
All right, I'll be taking the Guardian newspaper. Decision Day. APC backtracks on zoning as Buhari hosts party caucus. That's on page 86. Power sector collapse imminent. Stakeholders warn. That's on page 8. Now they said the federal government is blaming,
That's how they do now. They'll just be blaming themselves. Everybody be passing blame.
Scores killed, others abducted as gunmen attack on Do Church. Yeah, we've talked about that. APC promises each free convention as 2,340 delegates storm Abuja. Aspirants, huge spending and state funds. You want to find out? It's on the inside. Omar Show, I can't tell you the page. It's quite tiny. Rev'd for better ecosystem. Earth experts advise Globe. That's on page 4 of the paper. And lastly, on page 25, residents flee as terrorists invade Castina community. All right, so if people are still on the run, I think that's all on the front page, or that's all I can take on the Guardian newspaper.
Yes, basically that's all we can take on today's newspaper review. Join us same time tomorrow, in case you don't know the time, 9:30 tomorrow for another round of newspaper reviews. Definitely there are papers every day in Nigeria, and we always want to bring it to your hearing. Deliberate, talk about those major headlines that have been making the rounds, and of course share your views, your opinion with us. We have more and more amazing program on Lagoon Radio, so stay connected, don't go anywhere. My name is Jennifer Chupril. Do have a lovely morning.
And I'm Taiwo Adiola Shabili. Good morning once again.